Welcome to my channel. Old Valuable Chiller. Today, we are deep diving into fascinating story, the details of the Canadian 1-cent coin from 1996. This small but iconic copper-plated steel coin holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and history lovers across Canada and beyond. Even though the 1-cent coin is no longer in circulation in Canada, pieces like the 1996 issue remain as treasured reminders of the nation's rich coinage history. In this video, I will guide you through its background, production, specifications, and interesting facts that will keep you engaged for the entire journey. The Canadian 1-cent coin of 1996 was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, continuing a long tradition of producing the penny since 1858. At that time, the penny was still widely used in everyday transactions, making it a common yet essential part of Canadian life. The 1996 edition was struck during a period when the coin's composition had already changed from its earlier bronze form to copper-plated zinc and later copper-plated steel, which made production more cost-effective while still preserving the classic look of the coin. This year's penny is an example of that later copper-plated steel type, featuring a bright reddish appearance when freshly minted, which over time can darken into a rich brown tone due to natural oxidation. On the obverse, or front, of the 1996 Canadian 1-cent coin, you will find the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Canadian artist Dora de Pederhunt. This portrait, first introduced in 1990, shows a more mature and regal depiction of the Queen, wearing a crown and facing right. The words Elizabeth II DG Regina encircle the portrait, which is Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The attention to detail in the engraving, from the fine hairlines to the crisp lettering, shows the high standard of craftsmanship maintained by the Royal Canadian Mint. Turning to the reverse, you will see the iconic maple leaf twig design, a true national symbol of Canada. The maple leaf motif has been featured on Canadian pennies since 1937, created by artist George Kruger Gray. The 1996 coin continues this tradition with two maple leaves attached to a small twig, surrounded by the word Canada above and the denomination 1 cent along with the date 1996 below. The simplicity and elegance of the design make it instantly recognizable and deeply tied to Canadian identity. The specifications of the 1996 Canadian 1-cent coin are worth noting. It has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.45 millimeters, and a weight of 2.25 grams. The composition in this year was 94% steel, 1.5% nickel, and 4.5% copper plating, which gave the coin its traditional penny color while reducing production costs. The coin's smooth edge and compact size made it practical for daily use, while keeping the production economical for the mint. For collectors, the 1996 Canadian penny is interesting not only because of its design but also because of its place in Canadian monetary history. While it is not considered a raid date in circulated condition due to its large mintage, finding one in mint state or proof-like condition can be quite rewarding. High-grade examples with full red luster are especially attractive to collectors, as they showcase the coin's original shine and fine details. Over time, coins in pristine condition may appreciate in value, especially as more people seek to collect complete sets of Canadian cents. In terms of historical context, 1996 was a year when the Canadian penny was still fully functional and heavily relied upon in commerce. It was only many years later, in 2012, that the Canadian government decided to phase out the 1-cent coin due to rising production costs and reduced purchasing power. This decision marked the end of an era, making earlier coins like the 1996 penny even more nostalgic for those who remember using them in everyday life. Another interesting point about the 1996 penny is its durability. The copper-plated steel core resists wear differently than the earlier bronze pennies, giving it a unique aging process. Some 1996 pennies you may encounter will still retain a strong reddish color, while others will have developed dark brown or even black tones depending on storage conditions. Collectors often enjoy examining these variations as they tell the story of a coin's journey through pockets, wallets, and change jars over decades. The Royal Canadian Mint is known for its precision and artistry, and the 1996 penny is no exception. Even though it was a low-denomination coin, great care was taken in its production, with high-quality dies ensuring sharp details and consistent quality. This level of craftsmanship reflects the pride Canada takes in its coinage, no matter how small the denomination. For anyone starting a Canadian coin collection, The 1996 1-cent coin is a perfect piece to include. It is affordable, easy to find in circulated condition, and still holds sentimental and historical value. For younger collectors, it can serve as a gateway to learning about the broader history of Canadian currency, the changes in metal compositions, and the designs that have shaped the nation's coins for decades. If you happen to find a 1996 Canadian penny in uncirculated or proof-like condition, it's worth keeping safe in a coin holder to preserve its luster and detail. While circulated examples may not hold significant monetary value today, their worth in terms of history, nostalgia, and education is undeniable. So, the next time you come across a 1996 Canadian 1-cent coin, take a moment to appreciate its story. From the symbolism of the maple leaf to the artistry of Dora de Petithunt's portrait of the Queen, to the evolution of Canada's smallest denomination. This coin may be small in size, but it carries a wealth of history and meaning, making it an important piece of Canadian heritage. Next up, the Canadian 1-cent coin from the year 2000, a small yet historically significant piece of Canada's coinage. The Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 is not just a basic unit of currency. It is a representation of Canada's heritage, artistry, and monetary history. Many collectors around the world seek the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 for its design, mintage variations, and the fact that the Canadian penny has been discontinued, making coins like the 2000 Canadian 1-cent coin even more collectible. The Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 features the famous maple leaf design created by G. Krugergray. This design was first introduced in 1937 and continued for decades, becoming a recognizable symbol of Canada. The maple leaf on the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 represents national pride, nature, and unity. Above the design is the word Canada, and below it is the date 2000, indicating its year of mintage. The denomination 1 cent is also clearly inscribed, making it instantly identifiable. On the obverse side of the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Dora de Petithunt. This effigy was used from 1990 until 2003 and is notable for its mature depiction of the Queen. Around the portrait, the inscription reads Elizabeth II D times G times Regina, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The details of the portrait on the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 are sharp and refined, making it a visually pleasing coin for collectors and historians alike. The Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, which is known for producing high-quality circulation and collector coins. This particular coin was struck in copper-plated zinc, replacing the earlier bronze composition. The shift to copper-plated zinc for the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 was part of cost-saving measures, as the price of producing a penny had risen over time. Despite being made with a different composition, the coin retained its classic look and iconic maple leaf imagery. In terms of specifications, the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.45 millimeters, and weighs 2.25 grams. Its smooth edge gives it a clean finish, and the copper plating provides a bright, attractive appearance when freshly minted. Over time, circulation wear can cause the coin to darken or develop spots, which can impact its value to collectors. However, uncirculated or proof versions of the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 remain vibrant and desirable. Collectors often seek the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 for several reasons. First, it represents one of the later years before the discontinuation of the Canadian penny in 2012, meaning these coins are no longer produced. Second, the year 2000 holds special appeal because of its millennial significance, making coins from that year particularly memorable. Finally, variations in minting, such as differences in strike quality or minor die errors, can make specific Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 pieces more valuable. The value of a Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 depends on its condition, rarity, and any unique features it may have. Circulated examples are typically worth their face value to a small premium, while uncirculated or proof coins can fetch higher prices. For example, a Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 in brilliant uncirculated condition can be worth more to a collector who is assembling a complete year set or focusing on the final decades of Canadian pennies. Error coins, such as those with double dies, off-center strikes, or planchette floors, can also command significant interest and higher prices in the numismatic market. The history of the Canadian penny adds context to the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000. The 1-cent coin was first issued in 1858 when Canada was still a British colony, and over time, its design and composition evolved. By the late 20th century, the penny had become more symbolic than practical, as inflation reduced its purchasing power. Still, it remained a part of daily transactions until the Royal Canadian Mint officially stopped producing it in 2012. This makes the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 one of the modern-era pennies still circulating during the final years of the denomination. Many people in Canada remember using the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 in everyday purchases, whether for small change or in large jars of coins saved at home. For young collectors, finding a shiny 2000 Canadian 1-cent coin in their pocket change could spark an interest in coin collecting. Today, the coin serves as both a nostalgic piece of Canadian currency and a collectible item for those who appreciate its place in Canadian history. If you are considering collecting the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000, it is worth looking for coins in high grades. Coins that have been stored carefully in protective holders, away from moisture and direct sunlight, can retain their luster and avoid tarnish. Whether you collect a single example or multiple coins to compare strikes, the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 remains an affordable yet meaningful addition to a Canadian coin collection. From its detailed maple leaf design to its historical connection to Queen Elizabeth II and the end of the Canadian penny era, the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 stands out as a piece that blends artistry, history, and collectability. While small in size, its cultural and historical value is far greater than its face value. For coin enthusiasts, the Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 offers a tangible link to Canada's past and a reminder of the nation's changing currency landscape. The Canadian 1-cent coin 2000 is a perfect example of how even the smallest denominations can hold stories worth telling. Whether you keep one as a keepsake, add it to a display, or trade it with fellow collectors, this coin represents a chapter in Canada's rich numismatic history. Its maple leaf remains a timeless emblem, and its connection to the turn of the millennium adds to its charm. For anyone passionate about Canadian coins, the 2000 Canadian 1-cent coin is a must-have piece that tells the story of a nation, a queen, and a currency that has now passed into history. Where today we explore the fascinating details, history, and value of the Canadian 1-cent coin 2003 from Canada. The Canadian 1-cent coin, often called the penny, is an iconic part of Canadian currency history, and the 2003 edition is particularly interesting to collectors, historians, and numismatics enthusiasts alike. This small copper-plated steel coin represents the last years of the penny's long journey before it was discontinued in circulation in 2013, making coins like the 2003 Canadian 1-cent a meaningful keepsake. When you hold a 2003 Canadian penny in your hand, you're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding a tiny piece of Canada's cultural and monetary heritage. The obverse, or front, of the 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Canadian artist Dora de Pederhunt. This portrait is elegant and timeless, showing the Queen facing right, wearing a necklace, with the inscription Elizabeth II DG Regina surrounding the image. The 2003 penny holds historical importance because it reflects the modernized and dignified design used on Canadian coins during the early 2000s. On the reverse side, the iconic maple leaf twig design is displayed, created by artist G. Krugergray. This design has been a proud symbol of Canada for decades, showing two maple leaves on a single twig with fine details that represent both natural beauty and national pride. Below the maple leaves, you'll find the word Canada along with the year 2003 and the coin's denomination, 1 cent. The 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin was struck in copper-plated steel, giving it a bright reddish-brown tone when new, which can darken over time due to circulation and environmental exposure. It has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.45 millimeters, and weighs approximately 2.35 grams. Like many coins from this era, it features a smooth edge without reeding. These coins were produced by the Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg, known for its precision minting and world-class quality standards. Millions of these coins were minted for everyday transactions, but uncirculated examples remain highly desirable to collectors. Collectors often search for 2003 Canadian pennies in mint state condition or proof-like quality, as these coins have a rich, lustrous shine and minimal contact marks. Some collectors also seek coins with errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double dies, which can significantly increase the coin's value. While the face value of the 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin is only 1 cent, certain rarer coins or high-grade specimens can sell for several dollars, and in exceptional cases, even more. The condition, or grade, of the coin plays the most important role in determining its value. Uncirculated coins with full original luster are far more valuable than heavily circulated, worn coins. The 2003 Canadian penny also has symbolic importance because it was minted during a time of change in Canada's economy. By the early 2000s, the penny's purchasing power had significantly decreased, and discussions about discontinuing it were already underway. This gives the 2003 issue an added layer of historical relevance. It's part of the last decade in which pennies were actively produced and used in everyday transactions across Canada. For many Canadians, pennies bring back memories of saving change in jars, playing coin games as children, or simply using them in daily life without giving it much thought. Today, they have become nostalgic relics of a bygone era. From a numismatic perspective, the 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin offers insight into minting technology of the early 21st century. By this time, the Royal Canadian Mint had perfected high-speed coin production with exceptional detail and consistency. The switch to copper-plated steel in the late 1990s was part of a cost-saving measure, replacing the traditional bronze composition used in earlier decades. This change allowed Canada to continue producing pennies at a lower cost, while maintaining their familiar appearance. The thin copper plating gives the coin its reddish color, while the steel core provides strength and durability. This combination makes the 2003 Canadian penny both an economic and engineering achievement. When collecting the 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin, it's important to store it properly to preserve its condition. Coins should be kept in a dry, stable environment, away from direct sunlight and moisture. Using coin flips, holders, or albums made from archival-safe materials can help prevent tarnish and corrosion. If you're lucky enough to find a brilliant uncirculated example, avoid handling it with bare fingers, as the oils from skin can leave permanent marks on the surface. Proper care ensures that the coin retains its beauty and value for years to come. The market for Canadian pennies, including the 2003 issue, has been growing steadily since the denomination was discontinued. Collectors both in Canada and internationally appreciate the maple leaf design and the connection to Canadian heritage. Some people collect them by year, aiming to complete a full set from their birth year onward, while others focus on special variations or minting errors. The 2003 penny is often included in starter collections because it is relatively easy to find in circulated condition, yet still interesting enough to appeal to more advanced collectors. In terms of investment potential, while common circulated examples of the 2003 Canadian 1-cent coin may never be worth large sums, pristine examples and unique errors can offer long-term value. Collectors often look for coins graded by reputable organizations, which provides assurance of authenticity and condition. Even if a coin's monetary value is modest, its historical, cultural, and sentimental value can be priceless to those who appreciate Canada's numismatic story. The 2003 Canadian penny is also a great educational tool. Teachers, parents, and history enthusiasts can use it to teach about Canadian currency, the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and the role of the Royal Canadian Mint. It's a tangible way to connect with the past and spark curiosity about how coins are designed, produced, and used. For younger generations who never used the penny in daily transactions, the 2003 issue offers a glimpse into a part of life that has quietly disappeared. For coin hunters, 2003 pennies can still be found in circulation in Canada, though much less commonly now than in the past. Searching through rolls of coins from banks, flea markets, or estate sales can be a fun and rewarding experience. Sometimes, you may even discover a near-mint example that has been hiding away for years. The thrill of finding such a coin adds an element of adventure to the hobby of coin collecting. Whether you are a seasoned collector, a casual hobbyist, or someone who simply enjoys learning about history, the Canadian 1-cent coin 2003 from Canada has a unique story to tell. It captures a moment in time, a design that has graced Canada's smallest denomination for decades, and the enduring symbol of the maple leaf. Holding this coin is like holding a small chapter of Canadian heritage, one that will never be minted again but will always be remembered. So the next time you come across a 2003 Canadian penny, take a closer look. Notice the fine details of the maple leaf design, the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and the craftsmanship of the Royal Canadian Mint. Think about the countless hands it may have passed through, the transactions it was part of, and the historical moment it represents.